What's going on, guys? Patrick 1969. Oh boy. No surprise what we're taking a look at today. It is the Series 1 of the Gundam Universe action figures. These figures are supposed to be a healthy alternative to the Robot Damashi line. And I gotta say, they're okay. They're not the best, but they're not the worst. I don't want to give away too much. I want it to be a surprise still. Okay, anyways, in Series 1, we only get 3 figures, which is kind of disappointing. And they're all main hero suits from different series. So, of course, we have the big, bad granddaddy of them all, RX-78-2 Gundam from Gundam Original Series, or Mobile Suit Gundam, whatever you want to call it. We also have the Unicorn Gundam in its Destroy mode from Gundam Unicorn the series. And then we have Wing Gundam itself from Gundam Wing. Whew. Okay, so what do we see first? Well, obviously the boxes. The boxes aren't too bad. In fact, I could easily see these being on the store shelves. Now, retail, these things are supposed to go for around probably around $25, maybe $30. Depending on if you get it at like one of those comic book stores that charge up the ass. But these figures look like they should be around the $25 range, and yeah, I think that's a healthy price for these. Anyways, the front of the box, nice artwork of each figure. Open window showing the figure and some accessories. If we take a look at the back, here we see the RX-78-2 posing a little bit, some of the features, and we get a nice little rundown of the mobile suit's history in English. That's a big one, guys. So these figures are meant to be in the US. Let's take a look at the back for the Unicorn. Same thing. And then the Wing Gundam, well, same thing. All right, let's take the figures out. Oof, gosh, there's a lot of them. Let's take the figures out and see what we're dealing with. Well, out of the box, you can clearly see that these guys are in their own league. Not really close to being Robot Damashi level, but yeah, they're their own category. Anyways, let's start off with the Unicorn. Very bulky, very hefty action figure. I'm not scared that if I drop it, it'll break. Of course, though, the V-fin is the only thing you should watch out for because you don't get any extra fins. So be careful with that. RX-78 Gundam, it is what it is. It's an RX-78-2 Gundam. There's no real big difference there. It's really in the Wing Gundam that we see a lot of the line's stylish take on these mobile suits. The shoulder armor is kind of way out there. The head sculpt is more or less the same. It kind of seems like the V-fin's a little bit bigger, but it's in the wings on the back. Don't fall. It's in the wings in the back that you can just see there's kind of like a dramatic take on them in terms of them being more pointier and more shapely in terms of like being actual wings. Whereas the original kind of looked like just actual jet wings or, you know, whatever. But, yeah, I'd say out of the 3 right now, yeah, the Wing Gundam's probably my favorite. Let's see, nice look at that. You can tell right there. Beautiful paint, though. Great job on the paint. I have to hand it to this line. I have not seen any paint smudges whatsoever, and it looks like they're keeping within good quality there. Here's the RX-78. Yeah, this guy kind of seems more like a high-grade kit. Still pretty hefty. All these figures are pretty hefty. Okay, there's the. All right, let's look at the Unicorn. Get back. And yeah, the Unicorn just looks really, really busy. Really busy. I am happy with the fact that they did paint the back of the figure as well. So most of the pieces that are supposed to be red in the armor are red. Alright, let's go ahead and get to accessories. We get pretty much the traditional lay of weapons with this original Gundam here. We have a beam rifle in a kind of sort of weird different design, and then we also get a nice longer shield. I actually like this shield quite a bit, but You can notice there it doesn't come with a handle, but it does have a peg. Well, no fear there. Comes with a separate piece of a handle, or of the handle, for the handle, separate piece for the handle that also attaches to the forearm. So easy peasy, you just snap it onto the shield. We also, of course, get some beam saber hilts that attach to the back of the Gundam. These are the only hilts you get. And then we also get 2 beam effect parts for the rifle. For the beam sabers. These are actually white plastic painted pink, and they seem quite brittle. I'm not really happy with those. You also get a display stand attachment for the bottom of the figure, and then you also get an extra set of interchangeable hands. It's the unicorn's turn, and just like before, you get 1 extra set of interchangeable hands. Now, it's worth noting that all these hands are exactly the same on the wing, unicorn, and the RX-78-2. You get 1 trigger finger hand and 1 beam saber holding hand. So, yep, no differences there. Also, same old, you get the beam magnum rifle. I forgot what it was exactly called, but yeah, just piece of plastic, 1 little lens painted. No big whoop there. There's no pieces that move on it or anything like that. We then move on to the shield. Pretty basic. It is painted on the front, but on the back it's left very hollow, very empty, and very sad. You do have a shield attachment prong. There you go. Just fits right onto the shield like that, and then goes onto the forearm of the unicorn. Speaking of forearm for the unicorn, you know what? I'll save that last. Then we have also an attachment for a display base, and then now here's the last part. You have not 1, not 2, but 3 and 4 beam saber hilts. Now there's these 2 that go onto the backpack. Different design for them. They have little antennas on the back. And then you also have the forearm beam sabers. Now, why they would give you beam saber hilts when the forearm function doesn't do anything, like, you know, where it slides out and goes like that? Yeah, it doesn't do that on this figure. But they still decided to give you extra beam saber hilts. And they give you the same beam saber blades. Makes no sense, but hey, that's Bandai. And now here's my sad boy. Even though it is my favorite out of the 3, man, they really messed up the accessories for this figure. So, of course, you get the Buster rifle, and it does look pretty nicely painted. The gold is where it's supposed to be. The barrels for the ammo or whatever right here, they're not painted, but they kind of seem like they're a bit of a shade darker than the rest of the plastic. It might just be my eyes playing a trick on me and wishing for the most, but yeah, no lens painted right there at all. So again, 1 piece of plastic, and obviously you get an extra set of hands. Again, a beam rifle holding hand or Buster rifle holding trigger finger, and a beam saber holding hand. Okay, you also get the Gooch attachment for a display base. And then you get this large shield. This shield is huge. I don't know why they gave the Wing Gundam this big of a shield. Maybe it's just my eyes playing tricks on me again. But that just seems like a really huge shield for this figure. Anyways, on the back it does have an attachment already on the shield. It is the handle. You can place it laying down, and then you can have it sticking back up like you saw before. Can I do it on camera? There it is. Yay! And then you get a shield attachment for the forearm of the Wing Gundam. Okay, so is that it? Is that it for the Wing Gundam? It actually is. Wing Gundam doesn't come with a beam saber. Nothing. No beam saber whatsoever. What's going on? Like, seriously, you have to take one of the other figures to give this guy a beam rifle or a beam saber, and it still doesn't even look right because it's not green. Like, holy crap, are you serious? What's going on? Okay, with that mayhem out of the way, now we got to move to articulation. And unfortunately, each figure is pretty much the same, but there are some slight differences. But I'm going to show you the basic articulation with the RX-78 just because, well, it's basic. There's not a lot of armor in the way, and that's what seems to stop all the other figures. So if there wasn't a whole lot of armor in the way for each figure, this would be the articulation you would get. So obviously you get a full rotation at the head. You can move up about that much and go down about that far. So yeah, there's no shoulder movement. They don't swing forward like on Damashi or Spirit, but that's okay. We understood this was not really going to be the case. These are cheaper figures. You do get a full 360 rotation at the shoulder. You can bend out about that much. You do kind of sort of get a double bend in the elbow, but even on the RX-78, the armor is getting in the way. This part right here of the forearm and this part of the bicep. It sucks, but whatever. You do get a bicep rotation. You get a full rotation in the hand. Let me just show you right now. These ball joints are easy. You can pop these hands out all day and they won't cause you any fret whatsoever about them breaking. Moving on to the torso, you can bend down about that much. You can bend back about yay much. Actually a lot farther than you would bending forward. Looks like you get 2 points of articulation there, maybe, I can't tell. But that's it. That's all the articulation you get. This middle portion doesn't move. Let's lift the hands up a little bit. Let's move on to the skirt armor. The front pieces do move up a little bit, like so. Oof. There you go. And so do the sides. The back, however, doesn't move at all unless you want to bend it out. You can kick up about that high, and then you'd get a double bend in the knee, it looks like. Yeah. Ball joints connecting to the upper leg and the calf, and then you can get some good ankle pivot like so. Ankle armor is separate right there. Yeah, it's separated, so you can move that around all sorts of ways. There's no toe articulation, but that's okay. I always thought that was kind of weird. But that's pretty much it. And as you can tell, still, there's not a whole lot of articulation even with just this basic RX-78-2. A really good example of the articulation issues would be on the Unicorn Gundam. Unicorn Gundam just has a lot of armor things going on, and because of that you can't really bend his elbow all the way. Look at that. That sucks. That really sucks. And then on top of that, you can't bend his arm. Oh yeah, you can actually. Looks like that doesn't go into his shoulder armor as much as I thought. Let's see, bend in the knee. Nope, there we go. See, you can't even bend his knee. What's going on? That's crazy. That is crazy. These legs are attached by a ball joint and they get good range of motion there, I guess. They can kick out from the side, but go out about that much. But still, man, you can't even bend the knees. That sucks. Don't even get me started. Like, the Unicorn Gundam figure in general always has issues because of all this ankle armor in the way. So you could have some ankle pivot, but usually it's just the one toe that moves around and stuff, and ugh, I don't like it at all. But yeah, this figure is probably the worst offender of the armor getting in the way of articulation. The Wing Gundam, I think, isn't so bad with this. I mean, it is what it is. The armor pieces are pretty thin and small to where you can still get a good range of motion. You get a lot more of a bend in the knee than you would with the original Gundam or the Unicorn. Let's see. It's all appropriate articulation with this figure. You even get some articulation with these little claws on the forearm. And then also, obviously, the wings. The wingspan is pretty huge. I don't like how they're attached. It's just a simple ball joint that you pop the wings out and then you pop them in. I think this, I don't know, for some reason I don't like that. But yeah, you can move them around quite a bit, like so. But I just don't like the way the wings spread out like this. Like, it's too far up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh well. Not that I want this review to drag on any longer, but I can kind of see now at a closer look that there is some paint kind of missing in some certain places. I don't know if that's on purpose or they don't want to paint those spots, but where the shoulder guns are on the Wing Gundam, they're not painted. They should be at least a little airbrush, or not airbrush, but painted silver for the barrels, as well as the head Vulcans. I don't understand why they didn't paint them, but whatever. It's their choice, I guess. It's a stupid choice, though. I also want to talk about the material used on these figures. It looks like it's a mixture of hard plastic like we would get with the Damashi, and like the same plastic they used to use with the MSIA. I forgot what it was called. Yeah, I forgot what it was called, but it's a harder kind of rubbery plastic. Not bad. It's sturdy. Like I said, they're heavy and whatnot, but I don't know. These designs aren't really doing it for me whatsoever. Before I get into final thoughts, I want to show you probably the coolest accessory that come with these figures. Now, I don't know if they were only available for those pre-order people or what, but you get these really awesome display bases for each figure. Now, each individual figure has its own individual display base. So for the RX-78, you're going to get the blue display base with the RX-78 picture that was on the front of the box on it, and Amuro on the bottom, and then it's going to say Gundam Universe. It comes with the base and the arm attachment here, and then obviously if you have the figure, you're going to have this attachment, and then you just put it on, and then you just shove it up the figure's ass, and that's it. I want to make this short and sweet and not ramble on about how disappointed I am with these figures. Now, don't get me wrong. They're not my cup of tea, but they could be yours. Now, these figures are meant to be the healthy alternative to the Robot Damashi, where these are $25 to $30 depending on where you get them. However, them just being 25 bucks cheaper than a usual Damashi, I'm just not happy with them. I mostly collect Damashi Gundam figures. So to get these, it's kind of like, I'd rather just spend the extra money and get the better ones rather than these. Now, again, I'm not saying these are not for everybody. They could be for you guys. In fact, I am really in love with the Wing Gundam, even though it doesn't come with a beam saber. I'm happy with it, no matter what. In fact, it's the one I'm going to keep. But the other two just don't do it for me. For one, the Unicorn Gundam is way too short for some reason. I don't know why, but they made it short. It's supposed to be taller than the other figures. On top of that, it just doesn't do anything. I kind of think the Unicorn Gundam is actually pretty boring. But hey, I did find out that the recharging racks on the backpack for the Unicorn move, so there's something there. It comes with surprises. The RX-78-2, you know what? I'm just not feeling that stylish design. The body is just too square. In fact, if you look at the upper torso and you look at the bottom legs, why did I say upper torso? If you look at the torso in general, and then you look at the legs, they look like two different figures mashed together, meaning they're two different sizes. It's just not cool. I don't know who designed these figures or why they designed them the way they did, but it's just not doing it for me at all for those two figures. That being said, again, these figures could be for you. They do look kind of cool in their own right. I do like the Wing Gundam, like I said before, and in Series 2, they're going to have the Banshee, they're going to have, I forgot what other figure, and then they're going to have Gundam Death Scythe, I think. So that's going to be cool. I wouldn't mind having a second Death Scythe figure because I only have the one Robot Damashi Death Scythe. So yeah, and I think it actually would work with these crazy designs. But yeah, that was my take. Again, I'm only going to keep the Wing Gundam, so that means the RX-78 and the Unicorn are going to be up as prizes on my Patreon. Check the info down below on how that's going to work. And yeah, that's all I got to say. So thanks for watching, guys. Hit like, dislike, subscribe, comment, do all that good stuff. Share, subscribe to my Patreon, take a look at it, see if there's anything you like. Oh man, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.